All right, everyone, what's going on? Doing a ball test of the PhysiX Blackout. There it is. And if you have seen this version of stream in the past, or if you haven't, we're just trying this PhysiX Blackout, different parts of the lane. If you want to see me throw a different part of the lane, different rotation or adjustment or something like that, or a ball to compare it to, I have the Ion Max Astrophysics 2, Summit Ascent Phase 2 Summit Peak, and a Reality and Absolute Power up here. If you want me to try any of those, you can also request that, but it's a casual, fun stream trying out the new PhysiX Blackout. We can start with an ace shot. Dump it off my hand, not even close. This thing is a house shot killer for me. I don't throw it too much on sport shot because that's so much backhand. It's too uncontrollable for me. Yeah, it really snaps back like that. I prefer more controllable reactions. If you see me bowl any tournament or any league stream or anything like that, you might notice that more than 80% of the time I'm throwing Reality and Absolute Power up second arrow. So this is new territory. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. That was not the head pin that took that out, pretty sure. That was like let me see. There's a screen right here. 2-pin maybe? I have no idea. That was pretty cool though. Messenger number 1. Let's see here. All right, there we go. I don't know what we're bowling on, but it seems medium, quite easy, a lot of room. Prime conditions for when I like to throw my PhysiX Blackout. Hopefully people are still trickling in. Oh, come on, man. I want to put some balls on the rack, comparison balls. Summit Ascent and Phase 2, two of my favorites. That was a lot of messengers also. We already got 2. We're not even like 15 shots in, 2 messengers. Likes to sling the pins around a lot. Yeah, guys, this is gonna be a good one. Yeah, I'm glad they came out with something a little more reactive and asymmetric. Because nowadays, oil patterns are so flooded all the time that you don't really often, especially in junior gold, you don't really often, at least for me, get to the point where you need to use a pearl. So, like solids and asymmetric stuff, I'm a fan of. Sometimes you get 710s too, but it's part of the sport. Oh. This is really cool. Yeah, carry is very good. This ball is not lazy when it hits the pins. It will hit hard and with a vengeance. Get that, all that awesome pin action. I think this is a house shot. This looks really easy. Oil pattern, I don't know how long it is. I think it's medium. Something like that, medium, high ratio. This pattern is super easy. I don't know if this is sport. There are some easy sport shots. Ugh, God. Oh. Very nice. Looking to add a hybrid to your bag. Well, the Attention Star S2, I'm pretty sure is a hybrid. It's from Roto Grip. And it's new, it's pretty good. It's also a little stronger off the end of the pattern, especially with the box surface. It's starting to burn up now. This might be when I would get out of it. Maybe go to like a phase 2 or something. But we're not bowling for score. We're bowling for the PhysiX Blackout, so we're gonna make it work. Jesus. On you move left and slow it down a little bit. Hardware gives you the ball track as part of the facility. I suppose part of the facility. Oh, you mean the? Oh, okay. I got what you're talking about. So that's Specto. It's supported by a lot of bowling centers around the world, actually. So the ITRC has it, and it can track your shots as long as it's in the facility. So some bowling centers have it, some bowling centers don't. But if you do, then you can use it. All right, for any new joiners or recent joiners, throwing the PhysiX Blackout today. If you want to see me play a different part of the lane, move left, move right, get more hand on it, any adjustment, drop it in the chat and I can do that. I also have a bunch of balls that we can compare it with. So we got Reality, Absolute Power, Summit Ascent, Phase 2 on the rack, and we also have Ion Max, Astrophysics 2, and a Summit Peak in the back. So any of those, and I can break them out and compare them. I'll crank it like Walter Ray. Oh my god. I like seeing Walter bowl. He throws a pretty mean one-handed shot and a pretty mean two-handed shot too. That's even more. Yeah, look at that shot. That was pretty good. I'm really trying to give it the crank, like, man. That's the free hook out to the right. Checked up early. What? thing is pretty strong. We got the NEX cover stock on there. £15 as well. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. That was insane. Hook. There it is, the heater. So I found out we're going on, I think, 46 feet. What is basically of what South Korea's equivalent of the Open Championships is. And I guess this is why I don't bowl the Open Championships, because the burn looks terrible. I'm only one person and they're already hooking super early. Push. Ooh. That one was nice. One time. I do use fingers. Seems to be a common misconception, but here they are. And I do use them. I don't use a thumb hole, but I use both finger holes. Hook. This is the phase 3 good. If you're gonna get a phase, I probably wouldn't get the phase 3. It's a pretty old release, and I don't see it that popular. I never see anyone throw it, and it wasn't really a favorite for a lot of people. The phase 5 is a great alternative, and most people have a phase 2. If you don't, I highly recommend the phase as well. So it's very symmetrical, very smooth, great reaction. Yeah, so something cleaner like a phase 3, a phase 5 is really good. Something else in the phase lineup, phase 2 also is also pretty good. I'm gonna reset the pins, and we're back. Compare it to the phase 2, yeah. This is probably the ball I would be throwing right now, actually, so we're gonna give that a go. I mean, first shot, hey, get your phase 2 along with your PhysiX Blackout today. Wow. Wow, that was insane. But yeah, you can see it's a little smoother down lane motion, not as snappy as the Blackout. Especially not as slappy if you get it in the oil like that. Oh, that messenger was actually insane. This might already be the most messengers I've had on one of these. I'm at like 4 right now or something. A little better. There we go. Yeah, that's the phase 2. Much smoother motion. Lining up with the Sublime, probably in a similar area for something like this. I don't really use the Sublime all that much, especially compared to the phase 2, for example. Yeah, this is basically kind of a house shot, maybe a challenge shot. So you can line up like wherever you're most comfortable for something like this, but right now probably be similar area. The 78U, I do not have that with me right now. I could tell you what it'd be like though. It would not hook as much, not even close. But balls we do have, if you want to see a comparison, we already did the phase 2. I have on the rack Reality, Absolute Power, Summit Ascent, 3 great pieces there. And in the bag, I have an Ion Max Astrophysics 2. Much rarer ball, and then also Summit Peak in the back. So any of those, and I can give it a try, but I don't have any urethane with me right now. Summit Ascent, cool. This is also one of my favorites from 2024. I did throw that a little slower. Normally I throw my Summit Ascent a little slower, but yeah. I like the original Summit Ascent, even better in my opinion. This is great for maybe towards the middle of a block. Not as snappy as the PhysiX Blackout. Again, here, I'll throw on full speed just to actually see a good comparison. There we go. They will get to the pocket, but this one shapes much more. Summit Ascent, a little more controllable, so it's also in line with the Phase 2 a little bit. Straighter shot up the gutter, sure. This thing might snap real hard, but we'll give it a go. Oh my gosh, the flat hand up the back of it. Come on, I don't really throw that shot or that release that much anymore. Normally on short, it's just reality and absolute power, just throwing it as fast as I can. It actually looks pretty good up the gutter for the one shot that I've thrown with it. It does dive quite a bit, so the flatter hand does minimize that a little bit. We're also bowling on challenge shot or something with a lot of hook to the right, so normally we'd not be throwing this far up the gutter, especially with a ball like this, but yeah, it checks up a little early, but there you go. Worth a try. There you go. Favorite IQ tour? Oh, that's a great question. There are a lot of them. Let's see. IQ tour. I mean, the original IQ tour is probably my favorite. I don't have like a new one with me, like in my current arsenal, but it was a really good ball. IQ Ruby was also pretty good. I'd say those are my top two. There's like a lot of them, so it's hard to come up with all of them off the top of my head, but those two are pretty good at least. That one was pretty nice as well. All right. All right, the weight is 15 pounds. Pretty much everything in my arsenal is 15 pounds except for a couple older balls that I still have. And I practice pretty much 5 days a week. Well, I bowl 5 days a week. So if there's like a 2-day tournament on the weekend, then I'll practice 3 times for the week and then do the tournament. But I bowl 5 days a week. Although this week, because it was Christmas, I didn't do as much. Sean White's good at bowling, huh? I promise you, you do not want to see me snowboarding. Not a chance. I can throw some strikes for you, but do not get me on a snowboard. What ball do you recommend for someone who shot a 223 high game? So it really depends on what you want to see and what your current arsenal is. But just generally good pieces, I'd say phase 2 is a good recommendation. You know what? Put some balls down that you already have, and I can try and fill a gap for you with the knowledge that I have. I'll try my best. Because there's a lot more to a bowler than just their high game. The strike right here, I got you. So, oh shoot, well, I just did. So, did I win? Did I get it? I also got that one too. Is that like a 6-pack or something? What am I on right now? 6. Look at that. Yes, sir. All right. Any balls from DV8? I do not throw anything from DV8. I'm with Storm right now, so everything my arsenal is Storm, Rotogrip, or 900 Global. So nothing from DV8, Ebonite, Brunswick Motive, anything like that. Just those 3 brands. All-time favorite ball? Great question. So I'd say my top 2 are Reality and Absolute Power, and it's not a contest, not even close. I love the Reality and I love the Absolute Power. Right now, I like my Absolute Power a little more because my Reality is quite old, so it's a little dead. My Absolute Power is a lot fresher. Right now, Absolute Power is number 1, but Fresh Reality is pretty much tied. I love both of them so much, though. My favorite line is just hammering up the right, like 18 miles an hour with them. It's amazing. Let's see, Raw Hammer, Hustle X-Ray, Sublime, and White Dot. I think a phase 2 would be pretty good for that arsenal. It's good on house, good on sport. It's really good for anything. Like, it doesn't really matter what you're bowling on. You can break it out. You can put it on the rack. And especially when you have like a limited arsenal, it's important to have a wide range of equipment. So I'd say that's pretty good. Again, I'm not a coach. I always say, whenever people ask for tips, I always say I'm not a coach. So I'm trying my best. Favorite bowler of all time? Oh man, I mean, Balmo, two-handed revolution. If he didn't start the two-handed movement, I might not be here right now. So super influential, super good bowler. Simo's great as well, super talented. I also like Norm a lot. Legend, super wise. I love listening to him talk because he's just pouring out wisdom with every word that he says. Wow, Robbie, how's it going? I should probably catch up on the chat a little bit. I think I'm behind. Do you use the Barnes as coaches for info? No. My lessons are typically here at the ITRC, so I don't really use the Barnes as coaches, but I know them, and they're here practicing at the ITRC all the time. I see them shoot videos a lot. And we were going to do a video this week on Wednesday, but Wednesday was Christmas, so it didn't work out. But yeah, I see them practicing all the time. Chris is really smart as well, so. Yeah, phase 2 is a great choice. I'd recommend phase 2. Pretty much anyone. Symmetrical and smooth. It's a good piece for an arsenal if you don't have it yet. Yeah, so raw hammer, hustle X-ray, that's a little weaker. Sublime, yeah, I'd say phase 2, 100%. Phase 2 looks good. There's a lot of good balls out there, but I'd say phase 2 is definitely one of them. What's Mateo's average? Oh, I don't know. He's pretty much on par with me skill-wise, so I'd say, I don't know, it really depends. On sport, maybe 205, 210. I don't know how he is on house shot, but at least for me, I only do sport leagues, so my sport average is like 205, which converts to like a 240 house shot average. But I do not average 240 on house shot. I'm more like a 220 on house shot. So I don't know how his house shot game is. Probably better than mine. Whoa. That hooked early. So I'll recommend for someone starting to learn how to hook. Okay, so again, I'd say phase 2 is a great ball. Like if you're learning to hook and you already have like a beginner ball, like a Tropical Surge or something, or if you have a little bit of an arsenal, phase 2, great addition. I also want to mention that if you're in that sort of beginner phase, like you're learning how to hook the ball or you're trying to get your first 200 or something like that, you don't need a huge arsenal. You don't need like all the new releases all the time. I'd say it's much more important to invest that money into some lessons and get sharper, because new balls are great, but if you can't throw it in the same spot, then they're not going to help you. What arrow should I aim if I throw 2 in a backup? It completely depends on what you're bowling. But if you're good at backup, I don't know. It really does depend. I guess like simplistically on house shot, maybe like 4th or 5th arrow. And I mean the right-handed, so where the right side is the first arrow, the left side is the 7th arrow. Maybe 4th or 5th arrow, backup, if you're standing a little farther right. And if you're bowling on sport, something more, you want to stay more controllable, less angle, then obviously closer to 3rd, 2nd arrow, and maybe even 1st arrow. It really does depend though. Nice 710 right there. That is the 2nd one, if I'm not mistaken. Trying to get average 150, only ever use plastics. Oh yeah, so yeah, once you're able to consistently hook the ball and start getting good at it, your average is gonna skyrocket, 100%. Especially like even if you can hook it, but you're only throwing plastics, it's not gonna hook that much. It's almost as good as a house ball. So like an actual reactive ball in phase 2, great starter ball, and it fits your hand well, your average is gonna go way up. Is that hook and that extra power from a solid or from a reactive ball. It's really going to give you a lot more energy hitting the pins and a lot more power. Any drill can throw the ball more consistently? Oh yeah. So it depends on what you're working on, but one-step drills are really great for release and timing and really a lot of things. It depends on what you're working on, but it's a super versatile drill. I can actually do one. So I also do this when I'm just warming up. I'm not really working on anything particular right now, so you just get pretty close to the foul line, about one step away. So yeah, that's a great drill. You can use it for a lot of things, especially release. You can also do foul line drills where you actually get up on the foul line and kneel down and pretend and actually just roll the ball on the approach. Norm Duke had that drill in one of his, I don't know, a DVD I think from a while ago, but it's quite effective as well. Push. Wow, that was pretty good. What's a good layout? Well, this one right now is 5 by 4 by 3.5. That's a really common one I use, so pin right above the finger holes. And I use that on a lot of stuff, so you can see here it's the same thing. So that's my go-to. Definitely recommend that. 5 by 4 by 3.5. Obviously, I'm sure, because you throw it back up, I'm sure you throw it differently than me, but I'd say that's a good layout for me. There's some oil right there on the inside. All right. Say this one more time for any new joiners throwing the PhysiX Blackout today. If you want me to play a different part of the lane, different hand position to try and test it out, you can drop that in the chat. I also have a bunch of different balls that you can that we can compare it to as well. So on the rack, I got Phase 2, Summit Ascent. We already did those. We can do those again. That's fine. Reality and Absolute Power. And in the bag, we got Ion Max, Astrophysics 2, and Summit Peak. So anything like that. If you want to see something fun as well, you're trying something new, just for fun, just drop it. Just let me know. Play outside 5. Oh gosh. I have played straight today, but not outside 5. We'll give it a try. I'm a gutter scaredy cat. I do not like the gutter, but we'll do it. I am beyond pleased with that attempt. We'll give it a couple more tries. See, good mid-performance ball beside the Phase 2. I'm also a fan of the Summit Ascent, and that's a much more recent release if you're looking for something a little newer. It's one of my favorites from this year. All right, we're close. I just gotta get a little more on it, just a little more. Hook. All right, that's pretty good. Any tips for a junior gold bowler? Oh gosh, the junior gold is awesome. I would say definitely, go to the practice sessions. Um, get a good wide range of an arsenal as well. Definitely a urethane, a spare ball, asymmetric, symmetric. A good range of that as well. Yeah, junior gold's a long tournament. It is a grind all week. Another big tip, just focus, one shot at a time. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't be like, oh, I need to go even. I need to go plus 50 to make the cut. No. Don't worry about that. Just one shot at a time. Stay present, stay in the moment. Don't get caught up with your results or your ranking and variables you can't control. Just control what you can control. Stay with the fundamentals, and you will do just fine. Junior gold is a great experience, and enjoy it. A lot of people forget to enjoy it as well. But really, it's a week of bowling next to so many other people from all around the United States who have the same interest that you do. But yeah, just stay present, enjoy the moment, have fun. All right, let's see. How do you figure out how heavy your ball should be? I just do 15 pounds. That's really the most common one. If you're younger, you're going to throw like 12 pounds or something, but wow. Okay, that was cool. But I guess it is personal preference, but it's rare to have an arsenal with mixed weights. Normal people just go with the same weight. So I just do 15 pounds on everything just because it's consistent for me. So yeah. Should you practice what your deficits are? Absolutely. Targeted practice is the best kind of practice. If you're just strolling into a practice session, just strolling into the bowling alley, and you just throw shots, obviously it is practice, and you are getting the shots in, but it's much more beneficial to focus on things that you struggle with. So for example, if you are off balance a lot, just make the whole thing about posting your shot. Even if it makes you bowl worse, in the long run, it's better. And I'm at the ITRC, International Training and Research Center in Arlington, Texas. Really great facility. All right, let's see. If you're bowling on a normal lane, how do you tell where the oil pattern is and where to bowl? So if you're just bowling on a lane, you can't figure out the exact oil pattern because the oil is invisible. But you can figure out where to bowl and whatnot. So you can throw one shot really slow and see where it hooks, and that'll tell you where the length is. And then you can start from the right and try and figure out where the friction area is and play the track area. And it is super complicated. Even the best in the world still struggle with figuring out where to play, because that's really what bowling is. So that's not a basic question at all. That's quite a complicated question. And everyone is still trying to find the answers to it. What arrow should you shoot for junior gold since joining it for the first time? Well, first of all, good luck at junior gold. It's quite a while away, but still. And for arrow, I think that you should avoid just going in with like, oh, I'm going to play this arrow, this here. Because it's 4 different patterns. 4 games on 4 different patterns. So the odds of just being able to play one arrow for the entire thing is super low. So I'd say instead of just that, just go into the practice session, try a bunch of different arrows, and then try and use the one that you have the most wisdom with, that you have the most success with in the practice sessions. Because you get 40 minutes of practice before all of the competition. So don't focus on, I'm going to throw this specific arrow. try and find the arrow that works best for you. That hooked a mile. Wow. What app is that? If you're talking about my phone, it's just the chat. But if you're talking about the right side of the screen, that's Specto. It traces your bowling shots. And it's in a lot of bowling alleys across the world. Oh, they're getting clipped now. Oh, man. How deep do you put your fingers in the ball and how snug are the inserts? They're quite snug. I put them in as far as I can, which is, I'd say, about between first and second knuckle. I put them in a little bit of an angle like this. So I'd say my middle finger is about to the first knuckle, and then my ring finger is about halfway to the second knuckle. Yeah. That's like 7 now. Jeez. This ball carries quite a lot. It's a really good carry. A lot of early hook. Oh, yikes. Lane talk right up. See stats. Average strike spare percentage at 100% right. Lane talk is the best app for bowling stats, I'd say. Does all that automatically. You can also see scores in real time. It's awesome. Can't shoot on the same arrow I used to because of inserts, but I don't think that's a problem. What should I do? So if you can't, like if you physically can't shoot on the same area or arrow, or if you can, but it doesn't work that well, I'd say just really try, like you could dedicate a practice if you're really having trouble using a specific arrow. Just dedicate it, try and throw that arrow. Like if you're having trouble throwing it about the outside, just throw a bunch of touches on the outside. And that's really going back to targeted practice as well, practicing what your deficits are, and what you need to improve on. My Christmas was great, thanks for asking. I had a fun time, and I got a new absolute powers, so once my current one dies out, we got a new one. So that is exciting. You still use phase 2? Yes. I like my phase 2, it looks great, especially on something like this right now. Even though it's a bit of an old release, it's still really good. Still really good. Hooks closer to the right side and normally get a 7. Okay. Well, I assume you're bowling on house shot and stuff, and if that's the case, you don't have to bowl on a specific arrow, because some conditions, some arrows may work better than others, and if you're bowling on the same condition, then it's fine to use the same arrow. You don't have to force a specific arrow into working, and different conditions might open up that arrow and make it look better. It does also depend on the arrow. Like some arrows can work, but if you're like really grabbing it around the side and it's really hooking too much, then you could try and do more of a flatter release as well. And a way to practice specific spares, can the alley setup contain certain pin configurations? Absolutely. So ITRC has my shot, which can set up spares. So right now I've set it up, it'll just reset a full rack every time. But you can set up any pin configuration that you want, and it's really good for shooting spares. If you don't have that, you can also just try and shoot 10 and 7 pins off the full rack as well, and that works also, if you want to practice those corner pins. But yeah, you can set up specific spares here, which is awesome. It's a great resource. A lot of the time, I'll just set up a bunch of 10 pins and see how many I can make in a row. And I think that's really helped my spare game. My record is 48, so it's always a fun thing to go for whenever I come here. We're now struggling with ball speed after an accident. Okay, well, it really does depend, especially if you're in an accident, I'd say. But I'd say it's all about timing. So also staying tall. So like when I get up, I don't like drop early like this. I try and stay with my legs upright. And timing is also good, so you don't want to be too early or too late. Just release the ball at the right time. And you don't need to force it or like overdo it or anything like that. And again, I want to reiterate, not a coach at all. I am not certified to give any of this advice. I'm trying my best. Your posture is important before shooting the ball. When using 2 holes instead of 3, help release the ball. Yeah, so posture is important. Like I said, I like to stay tall in my stance. It gives me more energy and more power using the legs. What do we get? Can you bowl straighter with the blackout? Sure. I did a lot on the outside, so I'll try and play straighter, but also a little more in. It's even too flat of a release. That's better. I like that. A little straighter. Shooting for a straighter line safer than shooting a hook? It depends. Again, on house shot, you can get away with either. I'd say most of the time straighter is safer, especially if you're bowling on something really flat. Because if you're hooking it on flat and you miss left or miss right, it can be really inconsistent. So I definitely agree with that. And last ball shot I 300 with was a while ago, and it wasn't practice, but Optimum Idol. It was in May, I think. So It's been quite a bit, but optimal idle, another good one. Nice solid reactive ball. I'll throw one more shot, a little straighter actually. Look. So by flat, I mean normally with an oil pattern, there's less oil on the outside and more oil in the middle. So it starts out like this and then it gets closer. So that's not flat. That's easy. Flat means the oil doesn't sort of taper out like that with a lot of oil in the middle and a lot of hook on the outside. It's just a flat. It's like a box almost. So flat patterns are more difficult and they give you less miss room. So if you miss left, it will hook a lot. And if you miss right, then it won't recover. So flat conditions are the most challenging. And to go back to, what is happening? All right, I'm gonna wait for that to load. Just trying to pull this back up. There we go, okay. And tips for two-handed push away. So I would say it's really important to push the ball out straight. So a lot of people like to push it out. A lot of people like to push it out to the right like this. And so when they bring it back, they sort of twist. And then to get it back around their body, they twist their shoulders and then do it like that. And that's really inconsistent. I used to do that a lot. So instead, it's really important to have a straight push away. And I also push it out a lot farther, and that can also help with ball speed as well. So I just have a straight push away. And obviously, if you're creating angle, your feet can be a little more angled. But just pushing it out straight in front of you towards your target. And I also have a long push away for more power and ball speed as well. A flat wrist. I might have been talking about that. They go hand in hand. You want a flat wrist for flat patterns most of the time. All right. We're going to wrap this up pretty soon. So if you have any questions or requests, get them in right now. Now is your chance. Any questions or requests, leave them, dump them in the chat. Come on. It's a trip too. One-handed, both a lot of speed and a lot of revs. What's the best way to control that, especially on patterns that hook a lot? That is a good question. I'm not quite an expert on one-handed bowling, but I'd say, again, timing is really important. So you want to release the ball at a good time. You don't want to release it too early or too late. And also, if the pattern's hooking a lot, you don't have to have a lot of revs. You can dial it back a little bit if it really is hooking too much. Switch two-handed, tips on 10 pins. Hardest part thus far, 100%, 100%. So for 10 pins, one, invest in a spare ball. Definitely. Don't even try and get like, oh, I have a urethane ball. 100% spare ball for every two-hander out there. I would recommend. And also practice throwing a flat release. Because with two hands, there's so much revs and so much rotation. If you trick it a little bit, it's hook it and you're going to miss it. So I would just practice just going flat, straight at them with a spare ball. And just do a lot of that. Even if you can't actually shoot up 10 pins, you can just shoot them at a full rack. So if you hit the 10 pin and also miss the 3 pin to the right off a full rack, then that's good. So I definitely do that. All right, that's about it for now. I'm gonna end on a strike and then we'll wrap it up. Only one try this time. Took about 4 tries down on a strike last time, but that is it. Let me just check for any more questions. Nope, we're good. All right, well, that's gonna finish it up for today. I hope you enjoyed watching me throw the PhysiX Blackout. It is released. You can go get it. As you can see, it's super great. And also any of the other balls from Storm 900 Global. Go pick them up, give them a try. They're really nice, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed seeing different parts of the lane and how PhysiX Blackout stacks up with the rest of the SPI line, but that's going to finish it up. Stream for today. Thanks for watching and blow up a storm. See you later.